Eden Koz here with Just Be, and we are about to take a spiritual boom. We are at an unprecedented time in human history where we are transitioning from 3D to 5D within the great spiritual awakening. This video and audio podcast is the place for you to find your truth beyond politics, your sovereignty, your voice. Let's kick up your vibration now. By the way, each episode ends with the Just Be practice to do just that. And as we begin the show, just to know a little bit more about me, I'm a soul realignment specialist, meditation master, and dimensional healer. Learn more, and there's merch also at EdenJustBe.com. Let's get this party started. Eden here. Just Be Spiritual Boom in association with the wonderful and powerful Grassroots Warrior Network. And I'm here with Greg. Let's go ahead and say hi to him. How you doing there?
I'm doing great, doing great. How y'all doing, y'all? Life is great. Can't complain. I'm in a perfect place.
Good, and we're so glad.
At a perfect time.
Well, there you go. And we're so glad to have you on the show. So hang on just a moment. As y'all know, we're going to introduce Greg in a moment. Yet the first thing I just told Greg, I spilled tomato sauce on my curtains. So usually I do a lot more background study into my people that are going to be on the podcast. But because life happens, didn't do so much, but I have watched several podcasts that he's been on. So, and I wanted to show everybody in my swag. So this is one of the shirts. This is a soft t-shirt, Sacred Rebellion. For those who are listening, it's got this beautiful dove with a cross through it. So some of my merch, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Now let's go into Greg. Let me read your bio. Elder Impson, and please correct me if I say any of these incorrectly. Greg Yawakia. Oh, yes. Right. All right. Native American man for over 50 years with the Zuni Pueblo and elder of the 12 Southwestern tribes. Greg is a renowned teacher and traditional practitioner of Native American medicine. He studied at University of New Mexico, and I was born in New Mexico, so we might talk about that, and continued graduate studies in New Mexico State University. He has traveled to various countries teaching knowledge, alchemy, and other modalities. He also conducts various healing ceremonies as well as protection and cleansing. And in a second, we're gonna talk more about raising your vibration, as well as ending with potentially Greg's abduction and all that juicy stuff. Yet I wanted to start out with asking you, how did you become aware of the matrix of everything that's going on today in terms of the Great Awakening or 3D to 5D? What brought you into that, or have you always known?
I've always, I guess, from a very young age, since my abduction is what the elders told me, is that, they knew I was going to be something. So between the age of 3 until the age of 7, at the age of 3, I was abducted. I was in the woods for 2 weeks, and nobody could find me. They had search and rescue looking for me everywhere and all that. Until 2 weeks later, a sheep herder heard somebody, playing around, I guess something like that, and heard me, walked up to me, and I was near a bear's den. A bear den. And when he got me, he said, I was not hungry. I was clean. I was well taken care of. And so he kind of puzzled, but he picked me up, and traditionally he carried me back home to Zuni and handed me over to my grandma and said, this is gonna be my godson. He came to me spiritually. I was out in the middle of nowhere and I found him. And so I was over there, and then between the age of 3 to 7, I conquered death 3 times. And then when I conquered the death 3 times, they finally said, look. So they told my godfather what happened on all 3 times. And he told his medicine group that I can't wait. We cannot wait. We got to start training him now.
Okay, so these other things that happened to you, because this is really amazing. What happened? The other three death experiences, and did you know that you were abducted when you were younger, or did that start coming to you later?
It started coming to me later,
Whoa.
because really, I can talk about this if you want to,
Uh,
and
let,
I
let,
can.
let's start out with this. This is so interesting.
Okay, so anyway, the three times that I conquered death was the first time. You know, I was I was still probably 5 years old. I was playing outside, and then my sister says, "You need to take a bath. You need to take a bath." It was a hot summer day. I started your bath water. Go take a bath. So I jumped in the bathtub, and I guess playing all that time, the water felt so good and everything. I just smooth fell under the water, and I was asleep in the water.
Whoa.
And then my sister heard the water running. She said, "Turn off the water, turn off the water." And I could not hear her. So she opened the door and she saw me under the water. Rather than pulling me out, she runs across the street, gets my grandma. And my grandma comes all the way over. And when she grabbed my arm and pulled me out of the water, I woke up. I woke up. Just like, I'm awake. What happened? What happened? I said, "Oh, I was with, I saw Grandpa and I thought Grandpa was with me, but my grandpa had been dead. So they said, no, you were dead." I said, "Well, I wasn't. I'm awake. I felt good. And so that happened at 5. And at the age of 6, at the playground, we were playing King of the Slide. We had the old playground slides, and I was
Yeah.
climbing up that slide, and the guy that was the king of the slide up top, he was kicking my hands and everything, and he kicked me just right to where I fell off. I fell off the slide, and it was high enough, probably about 12 feet high. I fell
Hmm.
off, and I hit the concrete.
Oh,
And
jeez.
next thing I know, I was my body was in the ambulance. Back then, they had station wagon as ambulances, ambulances, whatever. And I could, the driver was the only one there. I was strapped in the stretcher, and I was driving to the hospital. But I was sitting like floating up beside. Now I remember this. I was sitting on the side beside me and saying, "Huh, wonder what happened to me now?" And I was thinking that way.
Hmm.
And we got to the hospital, and I remember clear as daylight to this day. The doctor looked at his watch, says 3:24, time of death. And I
Wow.
said, "Wow, what does that mean?" And so I said, "Well, whatever it is. So as they were pulling it back then, they had the old gurney stretchers. As
Yeah.
they're pulling it, there was a extension cord or whatever that was on the floor. And when they tried to ramp that extension cord, the gurney collapsed. When it collapsed, boom, I woke up. And at 4:20, remember, 4:20, hour later, I was walking out of the hospital, fine and dandy, nothing wrong, walking out of the hospital.
Okay, keep going. This is so amazing. All right,
Oh,
oh, wow. What was your third?
the third time was I was again playing around. You know, I we had this barbed wire that was across
Jeez.
and running, playing all kinds of things, running. And the bob car caught me and it caught my chin right here. I got a big old scar down here. But it caught me right there and he wrapped it around me and of course the ambulance couldn't come right away. Nobody had a car to take me to the hospital. So my grandma's going crazy trying to see if I was alive or dead. And finally the ambulance showed up and the driver looked at it and says, "How long has it been not breathing?" And I
Oh,
guess I was turning purple.
shucks. Oh,
And he said, and my grandma says, "I don't know, take him to the hospital." So they did. And again, they're backing up. They're backing up. They kind of, I guess, opened the door, but he wasn't backed up enough to where I could just, slide right on off the ramp. So as he's backing up, he hit something and it bumped the stretcher out. And I fell on the pavement and I woke up. So that was the third time.
okay. And how old were you on this one?
Huh?
Still, were you still like 6 or 7 or 8? Like, is all this under
I
10
was
years
I
of
was
age?
about I was about almost 7 years old at the time. And so
Jeez
they told my
Louise.
godfather at that time what had happened. And he said, okay, in 2 months, we're going to have a, training ceremony that's going to start. We'll go talk to my people, my group. We're going to have to start them now because if we don't, we're going to lose it.
Yeah.
So, and when they started me out training to be a medicine man, they didn't teach me what I know. They just taught me the modalities to protect myself, to protect my patients, and to do everything like that. I already had the gifts. I already had the gifts, like psychic surgery. At the age of 9, I could do psychic surgery, and they were surprised about me. I mean, the people were kind of leery about, he's too young, he can't do this. Everything came naturally to me. And all the elders did was taught me how, again, who I am, what I am, and how to take care of myself. And, Christ consciousness, think beyond is what they taught me. Because, we live in a multi universe,
Hmm.
I mean, so multi-dimensional, so, and they taught me everything, even about the space beings and all that. And like I tell people, I say I must have slept. I must just or got a bathroom pass when they were teaching me about space beings, because I didn't, I say yeah, and up until about last year, uh, they uh, they were coming to me and they were saying, people, my friends say, you see that ship? You see that ship? I just go, yeah, just to play it off, yeah. And then him and I went to New Mexico.
Yeah.
Coming back, we went through VLA, Very Large Array, where they filmed Contact with Jodie Foster. That
Hmm.
big old satellites, that big old satellite dishes. She said, stop. I gotta do light language. I said, okay. So I stopped. And those satellites were pointing towards us. And when she got out to do light language, those satellite dishes, they were 180 degrees away from us.
Wow.
And I said, whoa. And she did her light language. And when she got done, turned back to the same position that they were on. And I said, get in. Something ain't right. We got to go. We got to go. So as we were leaving, I said, I'm going to remote view and see what's going on in that building that they're doing. So I did. And those two guys that were in there, they're going crazy because there's a protocol they have to do to change those satellite into different positions. But who did that? We just figured the space beam did, so she can have a direct communication with her light language. And then when that happened, we were on the road. Like I said, I remote view. Those two guys were blaming each other as to who pushed the button and everything, but nobody pushed the button because the thing was still sealed and everything. And they're trying to figure it out because they have to explain to somebody what had just happened. They have to tell somebody what happened. So as we were leaving, I looked up to my right because she was driving. To my right, I said, okay. I didn't say anything, but I kept looking at it. I said, oh, that jet plane doesn't have, it's an oblong object, just following us. And I said, that, that can't be no jet. Because it ain't got no chemtrails or no, nothing, it's just following us. It ain't going fast or just keeping up with us, and everything. And I said, is that a spaceship? She looked up, yeah, let me get my camera. By the time it's gone.
Oh.
And that's my awakening with the space beam. And as we were leaving, I looked up in the clouds. I could see him in the clouds. I said, "Wow!" And since then, I've seen I've seen Palladians, Ashurians, and I said, "Okay, okay. Now that you show me these, I said, what next? Bring it on. What next?" But you know, I did not realize how important mantis was 2 years ago. No, maybe three by now. Yeah, 3 years ago. The Southwest tribes. we made an esoteric migration to the Grand Canyon,
Mm-hmm.
to the ant people where we migrated from. When we got there, you know, I was the first one in, basically. I was the only one in because they pushed me in. I said, wait a minute. I went in, there was a mantis and the ant people.
Okay, so explain this for those who aren't familiar with ant people or mantis. Was it a like a huge human-sized mantis? Yeah, give us more detail on that.
Well, in the Grand Canyon is our migration. That's where we as Zuni, Hopis, and all these southwestern tribes migrated from.
Thank you.
And we were actually, it goes in much detail about all these things because our migration story is hours and days long. I mean, I'm trying to in a nutshell it, but
I know.
before we went into the Grand Canyon with the ant people, that's who took care of us. Before we did that, we were like Kim in Egypt. You know, there was no, there's no, really, we're not really humans. At that time. But anyway, it goes deep about that. But when we migrated into that Grand Canyon, that was during the meteorite that hit the Yucatan Peninsula. Because if you go to some of our hieroglyphs, we have pictures of us humans with the dinosaurs. We also have, you know, pictographs of the space beings. And I think the last time I was on um, Rob's channel, I showed some pictures about those. And so, you know, we have a long history about everything like that. And that's why when we did the esoteric meeting in there, all they were telling us about, if you look at the migration, I mean, the prophecy stories of the Native Americans, like the Hopi prophecy, which is very out there, you listen to that. It has nothing to do with the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all it teaches, those four tablets that the Hopi prophet talks about, the white, red, yellow, and black, the four tablets that are out is to teach the people back on how to survive. We lost that teaching. Zuni, when I was growing up, we were self sufficient. We didn't have to go grocery shopping. We had our own vegetables out there. We had our own, meat, as far as deer, game, wild game. We had some cattle ranchers. We had some sheep ranchers. So and everybody took care of each other. But now, you know, money came into play. Everybody want money, money, money. It kind of broke it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that would kind of answer your question as to when did I start seeing it? As a kid, we
Ooh.
were self sufficient. We were farmers. I mean,
Yeah.
it was nothing for us to get woken up at 6 o'clock in the morning, fed a big breakfast, and then go sent out to the fields, to work on the fields, help the fields, and all that. And when it comes harvesting, the whole tribe would go out there and help each other harvest. And your payment was you get X amount of stuff that was harvested.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you got abundantly, we used to have what they call storage rooms that would keep fresh, you know, the next growing season, and they knew how, my grandma knew how to keep the watermelon fresh all winter long.
No way.
Yeah, keep the watermelon fresh all winter long. The squash fresh all winter long. And and the thing of it is, she would also say, always, when you cut the watermelon off, leave at least 2 inches of the stem on that watermelon. And that will keep the watermelon fresh all winter long and stuff like that. And so I
Mm.
said, okay. But anyway,
Okay, Greg, I'm going to interrupt you for just 1 second. I have heard again getting that there has been an attempt, which to get rid of Native American cultures because your culture knows so much about what is going on, the Great Awakening, the Earth. So to wipe you guys out helps the cabal or the Illuminati or the dark forces or whatever do what they want to do because y'all know, like even just talking to you for a couple minutes already, I'm just like, whoa, look at that. And then there's that. And then there's that. Yeah. What do you think of that?
Well, I try not to bring out the negative. I know it's
Yes.
out, but again, yes, the government came, started saying, "Hey, you got free food, commodities,
Mm-hmm.
commodity," and when you're growing up, free food. Well, if the government can eat it, we can eat it too. So it started going that way, and even to this day, you know, it's so people who are self-sufficient
Mm-hmm.
are not there anymore. There's no farming going on. There's no, even if they go hunting, it's just like a limited people.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go hunt all year long, but now they case it to where, oh, you can only hunt during the winter months, you know, and, you can only hunt, X amount, all
Mm-hmm.
that,
Yeah.
but that, where they're trying to limit us on a lot of things. And what sad me is that also now, when I go back home, we have internet.
Okay.
Internet
Where's
just
home?
came in.
Is home New
Zuni, New
Mexico?
Mexico.
Zuni, New
Zuni,
Mexico.
Zuni Reservation. Yeah. Zuni
Thank you.
Pueblo. Now they have high speed internet. Free to the
N-
households.
no way.
Free to the. We have cell phones. Free for life.
No way.
Yes.
I did not know this.
So, you know, kids
Mm.
nowadays, you know, I think a lot of elders have documentation on Oshawa Museum and Heritage Center about how cell phones and iPads and everything are taking the knowledge away from the younger generation because now that they got internet and Wi-Fi and everything, all they do the whole time,
Mm.
rather than having our traditional storytelling time. And there's usually a lot of meaning behind these storytelling, and all this, but they're taking all this self-sufficiency stuff away from us and our traditional ways, and the traditional ways they they make the tribal government and the religious people so in a power combative way to where it's a power struggle with them, and where used to be, I don't care if you're an elected official or what, if the high house priest says, I'm not satisfied with what you're doing for the people, you need to abdicate your position.
Mm-hmm.
And the person has no say so, but go ahead and abdicate his position.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's got to go to BIA office. BIA
Ah.
office had to go to the court, da 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 da, before it all happens. And I said, why? When did it change? When did all this change? And they said, they passed the Constitution without people voting. Well, that's illegal because the Constitution, soon the Constitution has to be, voted in,
Mm-hmm.
not just the council people, but the people has to vote it in. There's a lot of things going on, stuff like that. But you know, I'm just me. I know I'm not. I go in and out of the reservation because I go in. When I teach the right things, and the higher people finds out what I'm doing, then I run away. No, no, I don't run away. If they have to confront me or challenge me on what I'm teaching, I will. And usually they don't like to do that because being a medicine man since I was the age of 7,
Mm-hmm.
I have real high rank position, but I don't abuse my ranking, you know, and so, and I guess, you know, growing up, I saw how it was, but now it's not there. And, to see the changes that has happened, how they're trying to, like, we live in a matriarchal society. Everything belongs to the lady. Why? Because if you look at the symbol, as again, circle, circle. That's the divine feminine. There should be a dot in the middle, a circle with a dot in the middle.
Yeah. Do you want to go
That's
ahead and explain that? And for those listening,
oh,
I think this is a great parallel to go into how to keep your vibration high. And can you explain that?
okay. Okay. What I was show you about this. This is a medicine wheel. It has four colors: white, yellow, red, and black. The Hopi colors of the tablets. Why is it white, yellow, red, and black? Well, those are the four skin colors of the world. That's also the four body fluid colors in your body. You got your white blood cells, red blood cells, your black bile, and your yellow bile. You know, and this cross is a balanced cross. You know, and you got a nice cross there, but that's the unbalanced cross. And the reason why I say that is because let me. I'm not. I'm not going to try to, you know, get anything, but I just oh, right here. This is an old picture of Jesus. See that circle, divine feminine, with the balance
Yes.
cross.
Right. So it's a cross that's equal on that cross each other, but they're equal versus one being longer and shorter than the other. Got it.
After its crucifixion, it became the unbalanced cross.
Mm,
Because if you pull that cross up, it's a box. They want to
mm,
keep you in the box.
got it.
That's the religion. But being spiritual, you got to open up. See, when I teach, you know, I teach not only Zuni way, but I also teach the Egyptian, you know, Buddhist, Christianity, whatever. I don't, you know, I'm not going to challenge anybody on their beliefs, but I will work with them.
Yes.
You know, I'm not ethnocentric about my way. I've studied the different cultures, you know, African culture, you know, I've seen them, how they do psychic surgery, you know, I've seen them through other tribes. And when I talk to my elders are not only Zuni people. I got Acoma, Navajo, Zuni, and Hopi. And, you know, I listen to all of them. Amos, you know, San Felipe, San Aldefonso, all those tribe people. Because I don't want to just get one idea. I like to get a conglomerate idea. So when I present it, it's from everybody. You know, I just don't say one, this is my way, this isn't. No, no, that's never like that. So anyway, back to the medicine world. White and yellow, red, and black. We start out with the red. That is root, Mother Earth. In chakras, that's the root chakra. And in the medicine wheel, of course, again, south is red. That's Mother Earth. And when we fast, we go into a kiva. It's a circle. Remember, divine feminine, it's a circle with a dot in the middle. You go up the ladder, you go in the middle. And that circle, by the way, is your belly button. That's where your belly button is. Because you are connected to your mom that way. Your
Yeah.
mom is connected to her mom and their mom, to the Big Bang, you know? Anyway, that's what that circle and that middle one is. Now, we're there because red, again, is for Mother Earth. It's for connection. You ground to Mother Earth. You're connected to Mother Earth. Many of the things I've said, you know, Jesus said, as above, so below. Thought said, that which is above corresponds with that which is below. That which is below corresponds with that which is above to bring that one thing, magic on earth. You know, when we connect to do our ceremonies, connect with the Father and the Mother, we are just vessels during service. So, anyway, connection and comfort. When you go, when you're going through a lot, they tell you, go into Kiva. meditate, pray, you know. And when you meditate, grounding with mother, grounding with the creator, father, you know, and then they'll work with you on your energy. That is the beginning of your thing because in the chakras, that's your root chakra, which is survival, which is safety and security and grounding,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So then we go into the west, which is water, spirit, emotion. But in the chakras, the second chakra is your sacral chakra, relationship, joy, you know, your emotion, your creativity. And we take this west and sacral chakra, we work on the emotion because when you connect with Mother Earth, you need to work on your emotions and your relationships, your relationship with the family, your kids, and everything. You got to be able with a clear mind. And that's, basically based on going back to the Bible, what Jesus said, if you have something against your brother when you're taking an offering, put it down, go make peace with your brother, and then bring the offering in. Ours is that, we got to get all their emotion or relationship taken care of before we can move on to the next, because the next one is north, which is fire. That's where it starts. The fire, yeah, that's your energy. And that is basically, that's where the transformation begins in your mind and in the chakras, that's your solar plates, which is your self-esteem, your
Mm-hmm.
power, your ego. That's the beginning of the transformation. You got to work on all that with yourself,
Yep.
your self-esteem and all that. That way, when people, when you're doing something and people talk about you, your self-esteem will be so high, you just bounce right off. It won't affect you.
Uh-huh.
Because and that's the beginning of the transformation because things will start happening and you're gonna say, wow, you know, yeah. And in the native, like I said, fire energy, that's where mind over matter starts. You start working on your mind over matter. And case in point, my brother he was we was like 16 years old. My dad was working under the car.
Mm-hmm.
The car, then back in the old days, they had the bumper jacks, Well, that bumper jack fell over and the car landed on it. My brother got so scared, he squatted down and picked that car up because he said, I'm going to pick this car up. You pick that out underneath the car. I said, okay. So he got down, squatted down, picked that car up.
Wow.
And I grabbed my dad and I pulled him out and I said, are you okay? He sat up and says, looked at my brother and says, you did that?
Right.
And it's just that the adrenaline got so fast on him that he took action before thinking about it. And that's the whole thing about mind over matter. Knowing that you can do it. Don't think about it, just do it.
And,
You know,
we talked about like on your medicine wheel too, that these are practices. I don't know if that's the way, explain that more, Greg, that to once you accomplish opening up on this level, then you can get more into the higher dimensions. But yet, as a human being, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
these are
because
things
because
we have to do.
that's that's the next one.
Okay, go ahead.
The east, which is air, vibration. Once you work on learning how to connect with mother and father, you got to work on yourself, your emotions, because you don't want no hidden motion.
Mm-hmm.
That hidden motion bring you back down quicker than you went up. And how to control, how to say, I can do it. I did it. I did it. It's done. And do it. Just get it over with. You know, it's done. When you're done. Now this part is where the transformation has already happened.
Mm-hmm.
The yellow, east, that's air. You know, that's that's where you work on. That's the heart. In the chakras, that's your heart chakra, which is vibration, love, entities, gratitude, and all this. That's That's where you are starting. That's where you are transformed. Put it this way, because
Hmm.
that's when you know the difference. That's when things starts happening in front of you. You know, and believe me, a lot of people have come up to me. I just encountered a fella not too long ago. He says he walked up to me and says, "I can tell by your energy's good. I want to share something with you." I said, "What's that?" He says, "You believe in Bigfoot?" I said, "Why not?" He said,
Right.
"Well, I'm sure it's running around here somewhere." He said, "I got pictures of it." I said, "You do?" He said, "Nobody believes me, but I do." And he pulled out his camera, the phone. He was showing me pictures of Bigfoot, the mama, the baby, and the daddy. He showed me print, a print. He said, "This prints are 14-foot long strides." I said, "You see that tall?" He said, "No, the way they walk, they like bounce." And he said, "But this is his print. I got some cast, I molded it, I brought it home.
Whoa.
Nobody believes me." I said, "Well, that's okay. You're not here to prove it to anybody. That's between you and Bigfoot. Your
Hmm.
vibration is high enough to where if he comes to you and start communicating telepathically, you just clear your mind and say, 'Hey, I'm here. What are you doing?' Give your, show your free spirit, show
Yeah.
your love to it, and they'll talk back to you. They will eventually talk to you. So once you learn how to work on all these four, then you are transformed. But you're not transformed all the way yet because you got three more. Remember, fifth, sixth, and seventh, and then all the way up to, and then that's where the fifth, the Blu-ray chakra, is where remote viewing and stuff like that starts happening. You know, being a medium, talking to the people, you know. Then you go into the six, which were more habits, the shapeshift, all this, you know. Then you go into the eighth, which is astral travel. You know, a lot of people want me to share the knowledge of how I learned how to do all that.
Hmm.
I said, I would, but you really have to work on yourself.
Yep. To be able to
Because,
do that. Right.
yeah, because one thing, you know, you came to Earth, you came to Mother Earth voluntarily for a reason. You have a mission here. You don't have a mission there yet. Yeah, because you're up there, yeah. But we got to concentrate on Mother Earth first. Because when this avatar gives up, what's inside is infinite.
Hmm.
We go home. Then you can worry about over there. But as long as you're your mother, let's deal with what you need to do with mother.
Right. So
You
it's
know?
like, even though you're a spiritual being in a human body, but right now, human body, you need to be human and connect with all the and bring it all together. Let me ask you, Greg, how do you think at this point humanity is doing with that?
Ah, that's the wrong question to ask me because
Oh no.
again, I try not to be negative, but we a lot of people need help, you know,
Yes,
and
and
and and
beautifully,
and
they're going to keep getting pushed with everything that's happening in the world. So, okay,
well,
yes.
I you know I'm trying not my best to watch TV.
Yep.
It's negative, but you know you still gotta know something what's going on.
Yep.
Something.
Right.
So, you know, it's all a show, a game. And I didn't tell you this, but during my military days, I was one of them, rough and tough guys to where at the end of my military career, I almost got drafted into the Masonic Lodge.
No way. Okay, so were you in the Navy?
Yeah.
Okay, you
Navy
almost
stands
got
for never again volunteer yourself.
That's great. Oh my gosh. Okay, so tell us about the Masonic Lodge. Oh my gosh.
Well, when I got out, it's
Navy.
all it's all part of the thing that they do. And when I got out, being the way I was taught to be a native practitioner, You have to take care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that alcohol shouldn't be in the picture, which it doesn't. Tobacco's not in the picture. You got to respect people. No matter how they treat you, you still got to respect them, and all this. Respect the animals, respect mother, and everything. So when I was going through the military, you know, I um I had a choice going to this or that. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, well, you didn't really give me a choice, did you? I said, well, you're going to have to make a choice. I was not about to go into the nuclear sub program. So I said, okay. So I took the other one and got a top secret clearance, went into that program, did it. And when I got out, they said, wow, we still need you.
I'm
And then,
sure they do
yeah,
or
then
did.
they call, they got, there's this elderly man that I used to take care of,
Yeah.
you know, and I call him Papa Mac. And he was a Mason. He says, I tell you what, they're willing to let you become, I knew nothing about carpentry. They're willing to get you into union carpenter so you can become a Mason, the good old boys. When you become a Mason, you this. And I said, that sounds good, but union carpenter at that time was making big money. So I went there and I worked a little bit of union carpenter and everything, and they got me into it. I went to the apprenticeship program, Masonic apprenticeship program, learned how to read the book, went to the prayer. But when it came to initiation, I backed out. And that's one thing you don't want to do because they'll look for you. So when I
In the
backed out,
initiation, like, did you know anything about Masons, the darker part of that, or you just
oh
went
yeah,
into it and
oh
you
yeah,
started to discover it?
oh
Okay, so
yeah, oh yeah.
what initiation, you were just like, oh, this doesn't feel good, or yeah, how did that come to
Well,
be?
I didn't go through the initiation because, but during the apprenticeship program,
Yeah,
they teach you the basic thing. They teach you, well, this is how we take care of each other. Like if you come up, you're going somewhere and the bus driver's a Mason and the bus is loaded, full to the max. You give him this handshake. The bus driver will say, you're a brother. He'll make room for you. Get on the bus.
hmm,
He'll make room for your family to get on the bus. Take you. Those kind of things will happen. So you're in trouble. This is how we help each other. You know? And I said, okay, okay. And I thought that was it. But then more I read about the book, mm, no, no, that's not me. That's not me. I can't do that. I can't harm anybody. I can't, I can't kill anybody. I don't, that's just not me.
so did the book say that? I mean, at the
It gets,
level that you were?
well, it goes
Oh,
deeper,
yeah. Okay.
you
Whoa.
know. So, but I said, no. And I backed
Uh,
down. So that was one of the things that I got away from.
okay, and I'm
And
assuming when you started backing out, were they like, Where are you going, Greg? We need to pull you in." Did they just let you go?
no.
Okay.
They
Imagine it
said,
was hard.
this is what we did for you. You owe us now. I said, okay. So I was always, I guess, a loner. So I go up in the mountains. I just tell my mom, do not tell anybody. I'm going up to the mountains. You know, we have a big ranch back in New Mexico.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going up to the mountains. I'll be back in a couple of weeks.
Oh my gosh, you essentially disappeared.
Yeah, I disappeared. You know,
Mm.
and then I come back. Hey, how you? Everything goes? Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. Many times I just love to do that. I love being out there.
Yeah.
And now I just they don't bother me. I think. I mean, so I just let them be.
Well, I'm assuming with all the protection modalities, I don't know if modalities is the right word. Um, yeah, like I also work on being so light or so that it's hard for me to be seen by the dark forces or whatever. So I just attempt to emulate that and be that and embody that. So I'm also assuming with all the protection that you've learned that there's really not much that you can't handle, or am I saying that accurately?
Well, it's not much. I don't let it bother me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recognize it. But,
There you go.
because you give them power when you recognize them, say,
Yes.
oh, you get scared. If you fear them, that's when they got you.
Right.
I don't fear the dark. I don't care what it is. And that's why I said, who said devil had horns? But that was just my thing in the Facebook. You know, I don't fear the dark. I don't care if
Yes.
it's scowling in my face. It's
Yep.
okay. You got time? I don't have time for you. Go on. Go on. And but I'm always again, my guides, my protectors are always one step ahead of them. You know, always one
Awesome.
step ahead. And again, there has to be a reason why. You know, again, meeting the mantis, Assyrians, Palladians, those are the good people. But
Mhm.
then I've come across some people that be so into the dark that my energy would literally get them so upset that they lash out at me. But I don't let it bother me. But I will talk to them. I will talk to them, but I'm not talking to them physically. I'm talking to the dark spiritually. And I'll tell the dark spirit, I said, if you don't get out of my way, I will cast you out. And they usually run away when they run, you know. But I
Ah,
don't I don't do that constantly. I mean, I know
right.
they're out there. It's just like, you know, healing. People ask me, well, about healing. I said, well, you know, I'm just going to put it the way you understand. I said, did Jesus ever go up to the person and say, oh, you're sick, let me heal you? No, they came to him.
Hmm.
That's all we have to do. The sick has to come to, because it's by their faith they are.
And they're taking action towards it as
Yeah.
well. Dang it, Greg. I was going to ask you a really good question and it
Oh,
just went out of my head. Well, maybe it'll come back. We'll see.
well, I'm like you. I'm getting to that point. I'm growing blonde hair. See,
For those who can't see you, Greg, how do you or how old are you or what would you say? Well, you're an elder, so maybe that's just how we say it. Greg's an elder.
I'm going.
He's been
I'm growing some blonde hair.
I
I
got some
got a
blonde
brown.
hair too.
My daughter came up there and said, "Daddy, you getting white hair up there? That's your side." I tell my daughter, I said, "That's your side."
Oh man. All right. Well, I guess I'm looking at the time right here. Greg, I think we could talk for so long. Say thank you so much for sharing this. Yet I want to go into the Just Be practice, given that you talked everything that you talked about and how instrumental you are right now in terms of helping people raise their vibration. What would you like to do for us today?
Just be
Yes.
I'm going to
practice.
leave with y'all is that you all have gifts. All have gifts. Learn it the right way. Take yourself. If you're a service provider, like a healer, take your patience. You know, learn these modalities about connecting, connecting with the Creator, Mother Earth. You're just a vessel. Don't take credit. You're just a vessel. You know, that's why I say it. And understand Matthew, book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 7 through 13, where Jesus told his disciples, freely I give you authority to heal the sick, raise the dead, and to remove all dark spirits. Freely I give you. Do not take brass, copper, or tin in your pockets, but accept the gift, meaning don't charge. Receive the donation. That's how I operate my services. Donations. My classes, donations. My sharing of knowledge, donations. I don't have a price tag, you know, because we live in a different economic environment now. So poor man may have the gifts and everything that wants to learn, but can't afford it. Come on,
Mhm.
come on. You know, I'll be blessed a different way, different manner, because my guys are watching. You know, when I do right, they'll bless me. I
Mm.
receive the blessing from above, then the earthly blessings.
Nice.
I can tear up that dollar bill.
Well, go ahead because it's being torn up anyway.
Yeah, it ain't worth a hoot anyway.
Right, exactly. All right. Anything else, Greg? That was really nice. Thank you. Thank you for
Well,
sharing that knowledge.
well, I just again, you want to get a hold of me? One Nation Tribal Alliance on Facebook, or we have a website. You know, healthy and harmonious lifestyle.com.
Yes. And I'll include your links and on the video, have a link there as well.
And
Ooh. Well, we're super glad that you made it through all of those death experiences. And we didn't really even get to talk about your abduction, but maybe at some other point we'll have them on. And I would like to share with all of you guys, for those people that are listening to the show, they are moving in this higher vibration because that's what I talk about. And I bring people on the show who exude that. So Greg, thank you so much because you're my first native medicine man that I've had on the show, and I've been doing this for 2 years. So thank you also for lending that different perspective to everything. Loved it. Yay.
yeah,
Okay.
you're
Anything
welcome.
else to you?
No, I'm good. And again, if you need anything, I'm here.
All right. Thank you so much, Greg. Hey, and all you people, stay tuned. Bye. Say bye, would you,
Bye.
Greg? Y'all, find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, True Social, as well as Rumble, BitChute, YouTube, plus a plethora of other audio directories like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So subscribe, do it all. See ya.